Welcome to my channel. In this video, we will learn how to create custom animation using Tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS provides limited default animation classes. So in this video, we will create Shutter, a custom animation. So let's start. First step is to create the component file. So I already created the component file. Now we will start exporting this component. Import this component and test this out if it's working or not. So for that, I have created the demo page and I'm going to import that component. So we already imported the component. Now the second step is we need to export the page. We need to shutter the component which we are trying, and now we could just check this out. B tag and set basic classes here, width, height, and overflow. So I'm going to provide the width like screen. Overflow, I'm going to provide the hidden. So this is container div. We didn't add much CSS here, very basic CSS. Now the next step is to create the div for shutter animation. So this is the div which will basically create the animation like shutter. So for that, position, height, width. So I'm going to use absolute position. Width, I'm going to use the customized class for that. So you can use Tailwind CSS just in time mode, and you can add already added very basic CSS like position, height, width, margin. Now the next step is to create shutter. We need to have two attributes. One is before and one is after. So first we will start with before, and we are going to provide the content, empty content. So here we are going to say content, and we will use just in time mode and provide the empty content. Now after that, we also going to have the absolute position here, and left and top position. So we are going to have the 50%. So left 50% and top 15%, top 50%. And the only one thing we will change here is pointer events auto. And it's similar. So we are creating the Tailwind CSS classes for before attribute. Now we will provide the same exact classes to the after attribute. So for that, I'm just going to say after content and just empty content, after and absolute position, after and left margin, left 50%, and same thing for top 50%, and same thing for the pointer events. Auto shutter div with Tailwind CSS basic classes. We also added the before attribute and after attribute for shutters. Now the next step is to provide the background color. So I'm going to use orange shade and the customized class for that. You can choose any color you like. So I'm going to first add for before attribute, and for PG and the orange shade I'm going to use is a little bit darker one, and same for after attribute, and same shade because we are going to create the shutter. So you can always see all the colors available for you. You can customize as per your requirement. You can use any shades from here as well, or lighter or darker one. Okay, so the next step is to check this out and see how it looks. Okay, so we can see the background and the before after content here. Now the next step is create the custom animation for our shutter div. So for that, you can refer the Tailwind CSS document. So for example, for animate spin, they have this format. We can use the similar format but create the custom animation for our shutter div. For that, you need to find the Tailwind config file in your app folder, and then you can check out the theme extend. This is the place where you can provide as much customization you want for your UI. So we'll start from here. First thing, we will provide the animation key, and here we can create as much as customized animation we want. So the first I'm going to use is root name. So this name, you can, once you rebuild your app, you can use this name into your app and it will provide the functionality you have created. The keyframe name, so we are going to provide the keyframe name. We need to create this keyframe. We also provide the delay. You can provide the animation type, like it would be linear or is in, is out, or is in, is out, both together. I'm going to use the linear for now. And also you can provide, if you want, infinite loop. So I'm going to use infinite loop. So the only thing we need to create is rotate frame functionality in our keyframe. So for that, you can use keyframes, keyframe action. I'm going to use two-step keyframe. First is 0%, the second is 100%. So for 0%, I want transform the frame to rotate 0%, 0 degree. To add the 100%, where I want frame to rotate 180 degree. So I have only two steps, versus 0 degree rotation and then 180 degree rotation. So I'm going to have the rotate and 180 degree. For animation, and for animation we also created the custom keyframe, and now we can use this animation into our class. So for that, all you do here is say animate and the name you have given. So I have given rotate frame, so I'm going to use that one, and we can check this out. So right now it started like 0 degree, 180 degree. It's not 100% because we need to also create animation for our before and after content, and then it will work as a shutter. So now let's start working on that part. Now next step is to create custom animation for before content. So let's start. First I'm defining the custom animation here. So we can say before shutter. This is just name, so you can put any name for your animation. Here I'm going to add the name for custom keyframe. So before shutter, I'm just keeping 5 seconds here, and again infinite loop. So this is our before content shutter animation, and for that, to provide the custom keyframe for before shutter, so we will just use this name and we'll create the keyframe here. So for shutter, we are going to use more steps. So instead of 2, we are going to create 4 steps. I am using 0%, 40, 70, and 100, mostly keeping 30% difference. But you can always change it, like 0, 30, 60, and 100. So either like in starting we will have 40% difference, or we will have 40% difference in the end. But let's start with the 0%, and here we are going to translate the before content. First we are like first step and last step, we are just translating to the X direction, and for other we will do the X and Y. So here you just say transform the property and translate X, and here you can provide the percentage. So we are going to say 50%, and for 40% we are going to do translate X as well as translate Y. So I'm going to say transform. Well, so here we again provide the 50% and translate Y. We are going to say minus 65 vertical maximum, because we already provided 75 vertical maximum in the content, so we are keeping 65 here. And now we need to provide the 70% shutter keyframe. Now we will go ahead and create this similar for after shutter, and here we just change the name like after, and we will copy the same thing here and then just change plus and plus. So this is our after shutter keyframe, and we have to keep both in sync because we are going to create the shutter effect. So now we can try this out. First we will add the custom animation which we have created for before and after shutter. Here I'm going to say before and animate. We are not going to create anything, the default classes from here, but we can just say this before shutter, and the same way we are going to create for after. So here we will say after. First we say animate, and then you can check this out. Check out the effect. You can always change timing function for is in is out effect. Is in is out effect, you can basically copy this and add into the config file and just change the timings. So you just add here transition timing function and numbers, but first we will just use this for each and every percentage, and we are keeping the fact we could change the numbers here, and that way we can create our own custom timing function. So here I'm going to put 0.8, and then here we are going to change 0.8 to 6. 0, let me change, so like before shutter and after shutter they should be in sync. Custom is in is out effect, provide the custom animation name. You can create the custom keyframe and provide the delays, transition effect, and just rebuild the app, and you can have access that animation across your app. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please click like button, subscribe to my channel. I will see you in next video.